Hello and welcome back to building a space elevator again. Alright, so we made some progress moving forward. We're roughly 17 kilometers away from getting off of the gravity well. But first, I want to upgrade this welding rig so we can manually move this thing a lot faster. So let's get started. today's focus was to make sure that we upgrade the welding rig a little bit differently so we can move this thing forward manually and quicker. So we can finish welding off this platform and get to that 17-kilometer mark right over there as quick as possible. We last left off with about 16 kilometers away and, or not kilometers, 16 Gs or 0.16 Gs in terms of gravity well. And we progress all the way about to 14 at the moment using this updated welding rig here. So I got rid of all the pistons to do the manual process or the automatic process of welding the platform. The only problem with that is that I don't know when I'm going to run out of materials and or hit the tip of the platform. There was a sensor to stop it and everything like that, but I wanted to focus on making something more manual and so I can move it a lot quicker. And this is what I came up with. And because I also broke the other one too, so putting it back together was more work than it needs to be honest. So doing this was a lot better. But anyways, let's get on with what I did. So basically got rid of all the landing gears, got rid of the piston, the subgrid section, everything like that. And I added 3x3 wheels. Most of them, for the most part, are short suspension wheels, as you see here. And have wheels contacting the pillar as much as possible in every direction. So 2 on the top here, left and right. Same right here. This one in the middle. So basically 4 rows of a left and rights on the top. And this thing does shift over slightly a little bit, which is a bit of a pain, but it's not too bad. We also have these horizontal ones here that's hugging the pillar on the sides, as you see here. That way we keep it on track, so it doesn't kind of like fall off of it too much. And we've done something like this with a smaller grid previously too, in the earlier episodes of putting a bit of a rover rig on the pillar. And we just took that concept and made it into a bigger version on this rig here. So as you see here, it's a little tilted, which is a bit of a pain. So we're a little heavy on one side, probably, if anything. Maybe adding more thrusters will help it. But yeah, we have the bottom ones hugging as well, just to give it that kind of balance and needs as well. And this thing moves fairly well. It's not the best, but it moves fairly well. And we also have these up and down. This one here that's on no friction over there as well. So everything is on offset, so we can hug the pillar as much as possible. We could probably do more detailing of hugging it properly so that it doesn't fall off the tracks a little bit like it is. But it seems to be working out pretty fine until we hit a connector point, which it is likely because the connecting point has some bit of strength. So that's why it's doing that. But I can't change all these right here to 0 as well. So that's the biggest problem we have. And of course, filling up the storage containers or cargo containers with mats, that's when things get a little hectic too. But it's always been kind of hectic anyways when we did something like that. But we did carry as much as we can of the steel plates and all that stuff, so we can continue this whole process moving along as smooth as possible. It looks like we need steel plates relatively soon, because of course this thing takes a lot of steel plates. But yeah, we kept the top part of it as normal. Again, I'm probably going to turn this into a ship eventually as well. But yeah, adding the wheels, adding a whole bunch of different welders here, or more welders here on the front. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of welders on each side that's necessary. So we can weld up the place as quick as possible and as quickly as possible. Obviously, the more I put forward, the faster I could probably go. I can only go about 5 meters per second at most, be on the safe side of things. So, well, maybe a little over 5, but if I did this, like constantly hit forward slightly, you see that that's working itself out pretty well to weld everything up. Anything that's missed is going to get welded from the middle. But yeah, we just keep going slowly forward this way. So around 5, 6, I've gone up to 10 and I probably damaged a whole bunch of stuff at that point. So I try not to go too fast here, but it's fast enough for what it was before, so it's not too bad. But I noticed once we get to the connector there, that's when the magnetism parts of it, it's gonna kind of mess with the track a little bit, or the wheels on the tracks a bit, and then cause some kind of issues here. So I'm gonna slow it down by turning on our front pieces on, and we're gonna connect in here. We're gonna stockpile to get some hydrogen if possible. Why can't I stockpile? What is going on? The tank welders only had 2 of them. Yeah, I only have 2 tanks welders. And that group is right here. Just stockpile on off. So do stockpile on. There we go. Yeah, I had an issue with that earlier on to see what was going on. It wouldn't stockpile, but I think that was just my own fault. So I'll turn that off. And then we go to our welding rig. We need steel plates. So let's just get all that we can. And throw it all in here. I don't know. I don't think we need that. So we just fill it up as much as possible. And again, filling it up as much as possible makes the rig a little bit scary, because it tends to get slightly tricky and heavier. So I'm not sure how well the wheels are going to hold it up, basically. But it should be okay for now. I haven't really had a significant problem recently, at least. Here's it. Fill everything up as much as possible. We might as well. Interior plates we need to fill up. And that's good enough. Everything else we'll leave alone. We'll leave the welders alone. We could put stuff in the welders, but it's going to make things heavier. But we are completely filled in 3 cargo containers. We can unlock now and then move forward. So once we move forward from there, we should be fine. But as you see here, we're running into a little bit of issue now because we're too heavy. Which I guess we could turn the wheel strength a little higher if we want to. But the initial jolt of that connector magnetism, I think that's the biggest problem than anything else. And as you see here, we're running into little bits of issue. And looks like things are breaking as well. I'm not sure exactly why. More or less, it is because we are a little bit on the heavy side, I would assume. Because we filled up our cargo containers a little too much. Which is okay. Wasn't behaving like this before, but once you kind of like save and start over, or load the save, this always seems to be a little bit of issues. But once we get lightened up, we should be okay. And then right over here, we should be fine now to go a little bit faster. It's about 4. If we go 5, that'll be great. I think if we add a lot more welders in the front, we can get this thing going a lot faster as well. Because they can weld up a lot more before we get to the wheels. And that's working out pretty well. And then we try to get to 0.13 Gs. And then move on from there. Alright, conveniently we hit 13 Gs or 0.13 Gs. Ooh. And we're running into a little bit of issues, but we got the connector right over there, so I'm gonna lock in over there if we can. I hope we don't break anything soon. Alright. Let's lock in. Be on the safe side. And pretty much call it from there. But ultimately, everything welded up pretty neatly. I'm not sure if anything broke, but we probably came off the track a little bit, or maybe even got fixed up from the tracks. Yeah, it looks like we're okay. We could definitely put it closer in touching it if necessary, or make it not as close. Either one works fine. I think we might be a little bit too much in terms of hunging it, but it's not too bad. It could be faster. For sure. But it's not too bad. I think if I even lined up a whole bunch of like landing gears, it would have been a lot better. Like line them up straight, landing gear, landing gear, and some thrusters will probably move a lot smoother than what we have with the wheels. But I definitely want to try the wheels out to see how things go, and it's not too bad, as I said. And it's like we're almost there. We're still 17 away, but we're at 0.13 gravity now, which is not that bad. It's gonna take us some time to get there, but I mean that's something I'm just gonna have to take care of myself. It's gonna take a while to get there. Maybe I do change up to just landing gears again and just do thrusters and just speed it up that way. And instead of doing groupings of landing gears, I'm just gonna do a ton of landing gears. So like right here could be like let's see, there's three blocks of landing gear, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 layers of landing gears on all sides and corners. And then same with the back. We just put in a whole bunch of landing gears so it doesn't get off track as easy as it did before. And since we don't have a since we don't have a subgrid, it probably moves a lot quicker, especially with the thrusters and everything. And I'll line up a whole bunch of welders. I think that's the next step. I just need to get this thing done quicker. And another problem I experienced is the projection. For whatever reason, my projection was working fine, and then the next projection projected something different for some reason. Not sure why, but it is what it is. But I put up a new projection, and that only reaches up to about here. And it should do another projections relatively soon right after. So let's hope everything works out okay. But if it does seem to be too slow doing this way, if I break it, I did crash probably like 20 times doing the time lapse because eventually it does break the pillars once in a while with this type of style. I'm gonna have to go back to landing gears, but a whole bunch of them instead of like just a few layers. I think we had 3 layers of them only. I think we should just do landing gears straight through and then have all the welders up front as long as possible. And that should take care of all the welding that we need to get welded that way, hopefully. Or we do a combination of it. We keep the wheels and the landing gears and everything like that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We definitely need this thing to move a little bit faster. 5 meters per second probably will take too long. But if we get up to like 20 meters per second, even 50 meters per second, that'd be wonderful. But I think we're going to need a lot more welders anyways to get that all welded down as quickly as possible while we're traveling forward anyways. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Drop a comment as well, even to just say hi. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.